All right, today we're diving into a DeFi platform called Cyrus Finance. We're going to go straight to the source and break down their own documentation to figure out what they're all about, what problem they're trying to solve, and how they say they're going to fix it. So let's get right into it.
So the whole idea behind this platform really kicks off with a question that, let's be honest, a lot of us have probably asked at some point. Is DeFi just way too complicated? This is the core challenge they're setting out to solve. And according to them, this complexity isn't just a minor inconvenience. It creates some huge headaches. You know what I'm talking about? The endless manual grind of managing your positions, bouncing between a dozen different protocols just to get something done, hitting that steep learning curve that feels like a brick wall, and, that nagging feeling of, where is my money really? That lack of transparency can be a real killer. Okay, so we've laid out the problem. Now, Cyrus Finance presents itself as the elegant solution. Let's take a look at how they claim to simplify and optimize yield in the wild world of DeFi. So what is it really? At its heart, Cyrus Finance is billed as a decentralized protocol specifically for managing yield strategies. The big idea here is to take that messy, tangled web of DeFi yield farming and streamline it into one simple, direct pipeline. So how do they pull this off? Well, the engine running the whole show, according to their documents, is smart contract automation. What that means is pretty much everything, from staking your funds to executing complex strategies, is all handled by code on the blockchain. No middlemen, no intermediaries. It's a classic DeFi philosophy. All right, that's the tech side. But how does all that automation actually translate into a better experience for you, the user? This is where the rubber meets the road. Let's see how this is supposed to make DeFi more accessible. They break down the user journey into what looks like 4 pretty straightforward steps. First, you pick a strategy that fits what you're trying to do. Then, you send your funds straight to the protocol smart contracts. After that, step 3, you just sit back. The staking and the strategy itself are all automated. And finally, you can manage everything, reinvesting, adding more funds, or cashing out, all from one simple interface. Now, this whole system is supposedly built on 3 core pillars. First, transparency, meaning every single thing that happens is verifiable right on the blockchain. Second, no intermediaries, which is their way of saying you're always in control of your funds. And third, everything happens on-chain, which really just reinforces that whole transparency thing. So you see what they're doing here, right? These features are designed to be a direct answer to all those problems we mentioned at the start. The automation tackles the tedious manual work. That single interface gets rid of all the protocol hopping, and the overall simplicity is meant to just tear down that high barrier to entry. Okay, making things easy is one thing, but let's be real. When it comes to any investment platform, it all comes down to the numbers. So let's dig into the potential returns they're claiming and the business model behind it. And boom, here it is, the number that's definitely meant to grab your attention. The documentation claims maximum potential APR of 438%. Now, a number that high is absolutely going to turn some heads. And in finance, it also naturally makes you think about risk. So let's see how they say this is even possible. This table gives us the full breakdown. That 438% APR we just saw, that corresponds to their longest staking period, 30 days, which they claim gets you 1.2% daily. But as you can see, there are shorter options too, like a 5-day term, which has a lower but still pretty high APR. So you're probably asking, what's in it for them? How does Cyrus Finance get paid? Well, according to the docs, their entire revenue model is tied to your success. They say they only take a commission from the profits you make and only at the moment you decide to withdraw. And this is a really key part of their whole pitch. They argue that because they don't take fees on your deposits or charge you just to participate, their interests are perfectly aligned with yours. Simply put, if you don't make money, they don't make money. Okay, so we've talked simplicity, we've talked profitability, but we all know that in DeFi, security and trust are absolutely everything. So let's see how they address those critical points and what they say is coming next. To try and build that trust, they point to a third-party audit. They state right here that their smart contracts were audited by Certic, which is a big, well-known name in the blockchain security space. This audit is basically their proof point for why you should feel your funds are safe with their code. And looking down the road, their vision is, well, it's ambitious. They're not just trying to be another tool. They want to build an entire scalable ecosystem.
Their goal is to help build more trust in DeFi as a whole, all while expanding their list of strategies to make this kind of thing available to everyone in Web3.
And that really brings us to the final question. When you put it all together, the problem they're tackling, the automated solution, the profit-sharing model, the source material is basically asking us this. Is this simplified, automated approach the key to unlocking DeFi for everyone? Is this the future of accessible DeFi? That's the big idea behind Cyrus Finance.